What up, chat? There we go. Miss K here, first one always. How you doing? Rag is up. Appreciate that, brother. It means a lot. What up, Kings? Raw. I personally did not trade New York session today. What up, Toasted? I had a good day. I didn't trade though. What up, Bass? Eldred, Jeepers, Good Boy NQ, Hugh, TCM, Jeremy, Manveer, Most Fab. How you doing, brother? Last two trading days have some been the worst in a while. Price action is disgusting. Miss you too, Jada. I hope you're doing well, brother. I mean, I know you're doing well trading, but I hope you and the family are doing well. What up, Nup? What up, DJ? Good Boy NQ. Eldred, just because of like how society is now, dude, I feel weird just like calling him that. That's why I have to say the full name. But anyways, chat, how are you guys doing? Someone did ask in chat earlier if anyone traded New York session, how'd you do? I did not. Had very little interest in this. I was very interested in the beginning, and then I saw the price action. I was like, no, today's not it. What up, Sach? Sachin? Yeah, my overall game plan. Where'd that go? Yeah, so my little overall game plan was very little follow through in terms of continuation while still providing some opportunities for entries. Oh, wait, nope, that was my post. Sorry. Obviously, heavy volatility. We were retesting the pre-data highs, which was here around this 75 area. That was my pivot on the entire day. The only time I would have really been interested in a trade would be here, and I was already gone. When I saw this price action set up and then this bigger pullback, then I was immediately start getting bought up. I just left charts. I wasn't overly interested. That's kind of a crazy little 5-wick structure there. That's how you know it's algo. Every single one's testing 75, 70.25. Interesting. But yeah, 75, 75 was my big key pivot on the day. We held it nicely throughout the day, giving some opportunities, but nothing I really wanted to stab. Woke up later, missed long entries, so I sat around. Did that long last night. It was nice though. Yeah, Elder. I caught this last night late. I mean, what time was that? like midnight, 12:30ish, right before Alan's stream. It was the overall thesis we had, retest of 70s, and as you see, eventually, I was already off charts, but eventually the market rallied up to that 70 area that we wanted to short off of, and then sold off to our target at 45. So if anyone was waiting around mid-Allen stream, our setup played out perfectly. Rejections of 70, down into 75s. Beautiful move. Good opportunity. Obviously, holding through this would have been a bit of a headache. And you either are overseas or you are not sleeping at all. One or the other. Today's session, I'm interested in seeing what happens. But with the range we've been in, I feel like I really need to see some conviction. You caught that too? Hell yeah, brother. Not sleeping at all? Well, with NY in your name, I feel like, that might have been a little bit of a late trade, but sometimes, I'll say it, sometimes the lack of sleep for one day is well worth it depending on the price action. What up, AXP? Bagged that NQ rip yesterday at the open, brother. Were you still in from 370s? I know you're looking for 30,700. I assumed you got out of some position on CPI if you held through it, which knowing you probably didn't care too much about it because you were probably already trimmed and risk-free at that point after 200 points. But nice little 500 point potential. Took out at 25, still holding 20. Hell yeah. HP, you're like, most people think Jake has diamond hands. If you genuinely trade the way you talk, you fucking just, them hands built different. Them hands have been forged. This action is horrible. Pure consolidation on higher time frames. Very tough to trade. Anything but quick scalps. Yeah, TCM. I mean, that's, y'all know how I trade. That's not how I trade. That's why even last night with this move, I could have held till 70. I wanted a base hit up into this and then to call it, which was nice because this I ended up taking, I think 15 micros. So it was like $800-ish. So I ended up slight green on the day. Nothing insane at all between the two accounts. One account did end up red that I traded on stream. I didn't touch that. Like I said, I wasn't going to. What up, Ron? How you doing? I only traded the opening for New York. Got a banger. Hell yeah. The opening for New York has been brutal lately. Unless you are, if you're fully open-minded for either direction and quicker scalps or just quicker trades, then you've likely been doing well. I mean, even Jake, he was on the YM and there was that morning news candle, when he was long, that just ripped up and back down right when his power went out. And you just saw how bad that fluctuated. All right, now that we got a few more people in here, we need to get on to the more important topic of the night. Chat, can you guys stop fucking gambling with Jake? You guys, Jake's chat might be the worst sports bettors I've seen in history. And that's an impressive take. Like, you guys gotta stop betting, dude. You guys chose France, and mind you, in my chat, so this is why I'm saying it to you guys. In my chat, I asked who was going to win it all. It was across the board France. Across the board. So you guys bet France, they lost. Actually, I'm pretty sure they got shut out. Didn't they? 2-0. France by a landslide. Brandon, bad news. France is gone. France is GG's just like you guys' giveaways. I chose Spain. J Kings, you need to get more people on your side. The people on the opposing side of these bets need to stand up a little more. What up, Cole? How you doing? Bro, let's not start this. Gael, no, I'm going to start it. Because every time we get giveaways back, you guys just degen gamble Jake, pick the favorite, and they get destroyed. So yeah, that means 24 hours technically of no giveaways. Now, mind you, I'll be honest, I doubt Alan's going to know because it's not really talked about in the Discord right now. So Alan's probably not going to know. There's a chance he still sneaks both of them in there. But I know because I was on Jake's stream this morning that you guys are degenerates. It's the Drake curse. No, Brandon, at this point, it's not the Drake curse. It's the chat curse. You guys are up there with Drake level curse. Oh, he's keen to things? I won't tell him. I won't tell Alan at all. If he finds out, he finds out. If he doesn't, that's not on me. Steve will do a loss too. Well, yeah, that's a given. Can you explain the plan for today? Out the gate, the plan is patience. Because this is the current daily structure, my friends. This is EX. This is NQ. That's RTY. And that is the YM. Obviously, the YM has a nice lower wick. RTY is a nice upper wick. Kind of contradicting a little bit, but most of that's from the pre-market data. Biggest thing is we are in a world of shit at the moment, right? At the moment, we're ranging. Doesn't mean there's not potential. Doesn't mean I'm not open to trades. I would love the 4 hour to remain smaller or pull back farther. I'm not overly interested in shorting this chart though. Unlike yesterday, where yesterday I wanted the broader shorts and I was willing to long into that target, which fucking worked flawlessly. You can see it here. Ripped up into 70, pulled all the way back into 45. Beautiful move late or in the early New York session. I'm not overly interested in shorting this kind of setup, this kind of market. And we'll see what Asia opens. I think there's opportunity for us to pull back, but we don't have to. We really don't. And my problem is I would love to buy lower is my biggest thing. I really don't want to be long because there's two plans for me. One is going to be we get above 95s, retest, look for that long. I don't love this plan because I'm buying up here at a big resistance, kind of anticipating the hold. And if we sit within the broader range, we'll be stopped. Pretty straightforward. I don't hate, as crazy as it, like no one wants to see this pullback, but I don't hate this, right? Give me a big retest of this broader support off 75 that we can hold off of and look for that bigger long. But it does that, like I said, that doesn't have to happen. I want to be able to buy lower than where we're currently at. Can we just long oil on more news? What is oil doing? Is oil still ripping? Oil. I mean, if it wants to go, I said it likely wouldn't go too much higher last night. It went like $1.50-ish and then pulled back. I would have loved to dip buy oil during New York. My problem with oil is the same thing as yesterday. I want this general area to consolidate a little bit. Dream world for oil to me is going to be us put maybe 2-3 candles in here, set a strong weekly close in this area. That's right. You can look at the weekly. Pretty damn strong thus far. Monthly. If that monthly sets a higher low, oil looks like it wants 100. I'm willing to trade that. But give me a little more of a daily structure and I'm open to it personally. And like I said, oil, same thing as yesterday. Oil can continue to rip, continue to not have me in a trade. But I'm just being patient for that structure to set up. And I'm okay with it. Because all it takes is 1 week of good oil trades and you make 3 months of what you normally would. Yeah, Rob, that's the broader plan today for me on ES. I would love dip buy opportunities. Primarily around 75 if we can get there. We don't have to fully get there. But even down around like 85s, I'm open to trying dip buys. I would need to see us obviously holding the area first. I'm not just going to blindly buy 85, but if we get down to 75, like if we shoot straight down to 75, that'd be an area I'm opening to potentially buying. Bro, you know what happened with my exam? I just fought the professor. Like, he took the paper exam from my hand and did not give me my fucking time. After that, just happened to blow the funded. Most that sucks ass wholeheartedly. Number one thing I can say with that is if you have something like that happen in your life outside of trading, don't trade. There's nothing good going to come from it, right? There's nothing good in general that is going to come from that. I mean, you could have a nice day, but you're likely not in the right mindset to be trading and risking at the end of the day. How did Jake get his nickname? AXP, his last name starts with R. So he just flips him. So that's how he got Rake. 250K doing all right. It does have the MA rule, but good news about that is I think I increased the 30% to 50% because I hit profit target for payout. Bad news, my consistency is high right now. It's all right, Cole. You got it. You passed it. You made the 15K or whatever you needed to pass it. Just keep trading it. You'll get the payout. Just going to take you more time, which you know me. I have no problem with. As long as the end goal is to build towards that payout and you're chilling. Tried to short and got stopped out, so now I'm just sitting on my hands. Guile, did you try to short when we were breaking back below the open? I could see that. Because we do have NQ below the open, ES above the open right now, so a little bit of a divergence. YM's also above, RTY's below. Makes sense across the board. What up, Rev? Today was a good day for me. I had 5K day on the funded, but yeah. 5K, your consistency is going to be whacked. Apex is 50%, isn't it, Cole? So you just have to make 4.4K more. Right side, I have 5 more days before I can pay. Yeah, you're chilling, brother. You ain't got no stress with that. So I guess the U.S. can't protect the ships in Hormuz. CENTCOM said Iran attacked 7 vessels. Rob, they've been doing that over the course of days. And that's kind of part of their retaliation. They want full control over the strait. There was a lot of stuff said today as well. TLDR, basically, we bombed them again, of course. Who would have thought? And Trump said if they don't come to the table for negotiations, we're bombing them tomorrow, we're bombing them over the weekend, and we're bombing them next week. So that's how that's going. But like we talked about in the past, and obviously I don't know enough about it to really have a strong opinion. Neither one wants to fold. So I don't see the war ending peacefully anytime soon. Wait, Cole, it's 30% on Apex? I thought it was higher. Oh, you have the old style account. The new style with end of day, I believe, is 50. Yep. Now I got it. What up, Bass? How you doing? What up, Kev? What up, A Trades? Finch, how you guys doing? Rob, if the U.S. actually does blockade the strait again and there's more conflict within the strait, the global aspect, oil is already in an extreme deficit. And we've been behind for quite a while now because of the war. If that supply gets low enough, and there's a chance oil goes absolutely nuclear. Feeling short, PDP, I'm not overly short on the higher time frame structure. But if that changes, let's say this hourly gets more of a failure to go higher and pushes back lower into Asia, and the 15 sets more of a downtrend thesis, I'm willing to flip. Right now, just based off of the 4-hour and the daily, I lean slightly upside, but I'm not opposed to shorts. You got to remember what daily structure we're in. We're not in a daily structure. This is a straight consolidation right now. So you have to be, no matter what, open to either direction on any day you trade. And if you're not, you just have to be overly aggressively patient. Are you attending any of the Wealth 365 Summit? No, Cole, I'm not. At least I don't have plans on it. One thing the guy with a Forerunner is looking for high oil prices. J-Dot, the miles that that Forerunner sees are very small. Very fucking small. I mean, I don't even break like 10K a year on that thing. I fill up my gas tank every 6 weeks. So I have no problem with high gas prices. I hit one oil trade, that pays for my gas for probably 6 months plus. His house. I mean, most of the time, but there's also, everything's close to me. Just run, walk everywhere. Cole, I can't. You guys got to remember though, I don't commute to work. I mean, if I go to like the nearest town to me is 10 miles. So even if I go to the store or anything like that, golf course is 4 miles. Anyone's house I would go to besides my parents is a couple miles, not much. The most I drive is when I do events for my parents. And it just depends where the events are. I just have the luxury of being able to work in the house. I've thought about completely getting rid of my car and just getting like a beater because I barely ride it. You bought your Ram in 2021 and only put 18K on it so far. 1 HP in 6 years, 5 years. You've put 3,000 miles a year on it. That's kind of crazy. Cole, the problem is if I got one, I would just go for like a late 90s, early 1000s Land Cruiser. Get one of them with like a luggage rack. I'm in. How long NQ around 29,750. There's support around there. Gold is sitting right on support. ES looks like it wants to break out. They look like they could break out. Like I said, it really depends on how this hourly starts to shape up. If we do hold and get a push, yeah, 100%. I would definitely love us to lag a little bit and either base more around the open or give us a bit of a pullback for an entry. I just don't see any entry that I love yet for a good risk to reward. Get an electric vehicle, $4 to charge it up fully. Carl, I don't know if you know where I live, but you rarely see electric vehicles here. Because I live in the middle of nowhere. As a trader, you can afford a Lamborghini. Those are nice. They start at about 250K and go up to about $1 million. Brother, I'm not Rake Trades. I'm not J-Done. I ain't got that kind of bread, my guy. Even if I did, I would not be buying a fucking Lamborghini. For me to buy a car like that, I would have to be able to afford in cash probably at least 10 of them over for me to even think about it. And I can tell you, I don't have $10 million in my bank account to buy an SVJ. He said J-Dot almost fell out of my chair. J-Dot, when's your Lamborghini coming? Eight trades. The biggest town close to you is an hour away. Jesus. Yeah, T-Bot. The biggest thing here is we just don't have a lot of momentum. Well, I mean, obviously we remember what happened to Asia yesterday, so we'll see if we get that overall volatility. But at the moment, we obviously have a pretty low spread. Cole, I don't know if single stock futures will be available on all prop firms. I would assume they're going to be available on like the big four, big three, big four, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I would assume, I don't know if Apex would get them or not. I feel like they would because they'd want to be one of the leaders in it. Guarantee you Tradeify will probably get it. Guarantee you Lucid will probably get it. We'll see my fund in futures. TPT, I have no clue. And then Apex, which I think I already said. But no, I'd be shocked that a lot of people. Def not alpha too soon. Kyle, it's not too soon because I had nothing to do with Alpha. I had nothing to do with that whole thing. Dude, I got an email from Trade of 8 Ninja Trader yesterday about the Alpha thing. And it's not good. Giveaway time, AXP. Unfortunately, today, I'm choosing to not do mine today instead of tomorrow. So that way I can still do a giveaway tomorrow when the rest of the streamers can't. So today we're not going to be doing one because chat wanted to degenerately gamble against Jake and lose again. Alpha will not be back. I mean, the more I read about it, Cole, it's hard. Yeah, XP, they keep gambling on the World Cup and they're like 1-5 against Jake. I'm only here for the giveaway, man. See you tomorrow, AXP. Here's a bit of degen trade. Show him the Lambo money. Chris, imagine if I just said, screw it. Just messed up. Well, actually, I don't have consistency on this account. So it wouldn't mess it up. I mean, if I hit like a massive trade, it'd actually be beneficial. But if I nuke the account, I'd be more irritated. Just because they take 3 days to pass. There goes a little NQ rip. A little bit of volume there. What up, Niles? Cars like TJR, by the way, that stands for trade just randomly. It's crazy how all the traders with the nicest cars are all Forex traders. Makes you think. Makes you wonder. I'm about to be strictly lucid now that Alpha got choked. Yeah, Cole, I will, even to this day, still only trade Tradeify and Lucid right now. I have no reason to trade another firm. Unless one of those like caps me out or takes me live, then that'd be it. Hell yeah, most fab. There you go, NQ, be a good boy. Chat, how many of you guys caught that? Jake is funny his entire chat fading, or entire London trip fading chat in the World Cup probably. Bass, he probably has, because he said that he was not, he said he was fading chat and actually betting money on it today. What's your beef with MFF? Gael, I've used one account with them like 2 years ago. I don't have beef with them, I just haven't used them. Crystal ball, it happens a lot with a lot of larger, mainly Forex traders, but I'm not just going to stick it straight to Forex because there's a lot of regular traders that it happens to as well. But a lot of the larger Instagram, not a lot of them, but a good chunk of the larger Instagram people get called out eventually for shit. Cole, there's a few prop firms doing that. I know Tradeify is giving some people codes to give to like their chats, whatever, their viewers to help with the alpha thing. Was it My Funded Futures running a discount? One of the other big firms ran a discount because of the alpha futures aspect. They do it every time. Because if you think about it, there's untapped market cap there. They're going to run discounts to get that market cap. Yeah, it's a huge opportunity. The same thing happened with the when FTT dropped. When FTT dropped, they had a decent market share and firms dropped discounts like crazy to get that market share. I don't blame them. It's a business move. Blake, you weren't even near the chart. Hell yeah, brother. Gael, is there pro plan? Does My Funded Futures have a plan that is similar to Lucid Flex and Trade by Select? Because if so, then yeah, I'd be interested. My Funded Futures 50%, so it is My Funded Futures. You still do one-on-ones? I do, Jacob. I just don't talk about them or promote them. If people reach out, I do them. I just don't promote them much, personally. I never have. Top one's running a sale. Top one's one of those features that I just, in the beginning, I just didn't like what they did, so I just don't use them. Nothing against them, but I just didn't like the way it was ran in the very beginning, so I just don't use them. Say what you want, but feelings in a trade can be on point sometimes. I had a strong feeling breakout was coming, just not that quick. Yeah, TCM, because the feelings aspect is just your gut telling you this is a solid setup that you can potentially enter. Most of the time, like if I get the feeling, that's what it is. I really don't wish this didn't happen, because I wanted at least like another test at the open, but we didn't get it. So far, that hourly aggressively strong now though. So if you're long, I mean, you're chilling for now. But if this keeps going, you have a very strong 4 hour. I'd be looking towards 615s. That would be my first area of interest. Over that, you really have a decent amount of room to like 650s. I mean, you have last week's high at 630. So 615, 630, 650 would be like my broader targets. You lost on fast track too. 8 trades. Were you in alpha and fast track? Because if so, that sucks ass. I was about to press buy and this happens. Alan, it happens, brother. What up? Watch out. They don't. Yeah, Gael, it's hard for me to use a firm unless there's an account similar to those. Because I just don't like consistency on fundeds. I don't. I've messed it up with the consistency so many times in the past, just letting trades run. I don't have a problem like using them. You just have to lower your expectations. Most Fab, you talking about 615s with the CPI data house? Nah, HP, you have a fire entry, brother. Especially if we can get back up to like 920s for you. What up, Dev? The straight must be open again. I fucking doubt it. Let's see. Let's see. Um, 12 minutes ago. So right before this pump happened, Trump said he does not want to negotiate. He says exercising extreme caution with civilian population, warned Iran it better make a deal or we'll have nothing left. Then the U.S. struck Karga Island. This is why you don't pay attention to the news, by the way. And he is open to potentially taking over Karga Island. If he wipes Iran, he's open to taking over Karga Island. All right. Interesting. Probably to close those accounts, we have to wait 14 days for a payout. Think of it as 14 days to build your payout. Yeah, Bling, that's a good mindset with it. 100%. It's harder to run an account that has 14 days to pay out when every other firm is weekly. Blink. I don't know if the straight's opened or closed at the moment. There's shit going on over there every minute of the day. XP, you talking about last night or today? Because it did it both times. Well, today was even probably worse for you. You probably got huge euphoria off CPI. And then you watched it pull back 350 points before just ripping back up and then selling back off. Yeah, Blink, most of what's going on is priced in. I think right now we're mainly focused on the overall rate hike aspect. And I believe with how CPI coming in better, they potentially push back the rate hikes happening. It's for 14 days at first, then daily no cap. No cap is crazy. But it makes sense because a lot of people probably don't survive 14 days. Synth, you know how that would have been very beneficial in the beginning. You just take a trip, sit on the other side of the strait and just watch. All right, is it open? Is it closed? What's happening? Oh, you see someone bomb a ship, immediately short the market. TCM, what do you mean by like breakout? If by breakout, you're talking buying the break of this high on a candle like this, no, not for me. Just the way I trade. Because the potential of even the slightest pullback stopping me out is not something I'm overly interested in. I want something where I can have a pretty defined stop around a support that in theory should hold and play the potential of it holding. Whether that's a larger pullback or just a little pullback like something to here, and then try to get back higher. All right, Sal, I'm just commenting about the aspect of what I've seen people talk about. I'm not well knowledge enough about that aspect in Borsch's policy to really give an overly detailed bias on it. And like I said yesterday, if I don't have a deep knowledge about a certain topic, I won't dive deep into it. Just got 2350 across two accounts. First entry was 750. Second entry was 790. Thanks for the confluence. Hell yeah, BM. I'm glad some of you guys got it. We have PPI tomorrow too. Let's see. Resources, tools, weekly calendar. We do have PPI tomorrow. Then we have a little bit more data Thursday. Nothing crazy, but a little bit. Yeah, Blink, if I use my fund of futures, I wouldn't be opposed to that 14-day aspect. It's just while I can still use the flex and the select, I don't have much interest in changing it. The market has me confused as motherfucker happy trading. Yeah, DLP, it'll do that when we're in a daily range, brother. It will do that. I mean, I've seen a decent amount of traders struggling in general. That's why for me, a lot of it has been more so like 2R, at least looking for that, and not looking for much of home runs unless I believe it's truly has the potential. Alan, well, it depends when it brings it down. If we can hold for 23 minutes, this is a beautiful hourly. Then I'm okay to buying pullbacks. If we pull back aggressively in the next 23 minutes, I'm not interested because we have a longer upper hourly wick. And that would just scream another broader consolidation, which I don't want. So I really want this out, even though I'm not in long. I want this hourly chart to close strong. Then, if then, I'm open to buying pullbacks. Wouldn't be surprised to be short here, come back below the open. If you're anticipating a range, I mean, we're rejecting the New York highs. So if you're anticipating a rejection of this around the 600s, yeah, I could see it. Because you could run a tighter stop. Do I think it would be extremely high risk? Yeah, of course. We just saw a big rip in the market. Chad, I'm not taking this. I'm just drawing. But if you're looking for something like that, I could see justification. Is he going to be aggressive? Yes. Gael, what do you mean would I be down to do a New York session? Like streaming a New York session? I wouldn't be able to. Because the only time slot would be between Jake and Mitch. So I would maybe get like 11:40 to 12:30. And to me, that's just not enough time to really do anything. I could jump in, talk about the markets, and that'd be it. But the entire rest of the session's full of streams. So there's not really an opportunity to. What song is this? I don't know. Wait. Terrible Snow, I think. Is that it? No. This one right now is Tremble Slow. It's just this playlist. So it's just 4.5 hours of these beats. I'm just always calm and cool, rubs off on me. Yeah. I mean, a big factor is just because, like right now, would I love to be in this trade? Yes. Is there a chance people are FOMOing into longs here? Yeah. Why am I not looking to do that? This move already happened. I wasn't in a trade. There is nothing I can do right now to make me profit or do well off of this. This up here, drastically lower conviction than something down here, just structurally in general. So if there's absolutely nothing I can do about it, if there's not something that I can look to buy or short right this second, then why stress it? MD, what do you mean slow pre-market? What up, Jim? How you doing? Just got back from London. You should have met up with Rake. Also, they're kind of ignoring the war. News tends to happen after a couple months. They just start ignoring it. Yeah, BM. That's how it goes. I mean, look at the Russia-Ukraine. In the very beginning, that war absolutely tanked the market. Like, it was hell with volatility. That war's still going on. That war does not matter at all. And that's just how everything goes. Normally, after it's started, everything slowly gets priced back in. Do you know what about a bullish pennant is? If not, NQ in the daily is textbook. Yeah, I know what it is. You're just looking at, I believe I have one drawn here. You're looking at more so that. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could draw trend line wise on the lower time frame chart. You could draw more so something like that if you want, if you're a trend line trader. Clean breakout. Either way, we ended up setting a higher low, getting the continuation above the open, which got us that pop. You speaking gems and psych talks like that has helped my trading completely flip. DJ. That means more than you know. Because for me personally, I'm here mainly just obviously to talk trading, take trades when I see an opportunity, but primarily just talk with you guys and just answer questions. You take different R multiple exits. I've been trying to consistently take 2R, and I think I need to be more flexible. My brain just wants to be more systematic for taking profits. Jacob, if you want to be more systematic with that, what you can do is potentially try for a little bit where you take, let's say, a trim at 2R and then see if you can let runners go. Because even on my trades, like if I catch a 5R trade, it's not really 5R because I trim along the way. I know on paper, and it also sounds good if I say 5R potential on the day. Looking at everything. Looks great. But it's never truly a full 5R if you trim. If you trade like Jake, then yes, his R multiple is exact. If you trade like Alan, where he doesn't really trim, his R multiple is exact. But I trim, I have no problem with it. Mitch trims at times too, has no problem with it. But it's just up to the individual. If you want to be very systematic, if you like the 2R potential, run with it. Because I think you need like a 33% win rate to be break even with 2R. When Jake goes to brush his teeth, maybe you can sub. Good boy, NQ. When Jake lost power, I was about to open up Streamlabs and just jump on stream for 5 minutes until he was back. Just so people didn't leave stream. I don't like this little spike failure. We'll see if it gets bought back up. But I don't overly love that happening. Because if we get back below like 600s, we still have 15 minutes. It doesn't have to do much. But I still want us to close near the high if I'm going to be interested in longs. If we do push lower into Asia Open, it opens the opportunity for shorts if we get more of an hourly upper wick. Voices will be talking to me in about 20 minutes. I'm calling it. The TCM is because that's when a majority of the decent setups happen, is like 8:30-ish. 8:20 to like 8:40. That war doesn't cause higher oil. This war is different. Agreed, Rob. Agreed. Wholeheartedly agree on that. I mean, if anyone was here in the beginning of stream or when I was streaming Discord, I was stalking oil every single day like a hawk. And I had a level where if we broke on oil, I was shorting everything in existence. But we got near the level and rejected aggressively. Because if there's a big negative supply in oil and we see oil up towards like 120s, obviously the contract rolls over, so that number changes. But if you get oil back up towards these levels and higher, up over like 110s, you start looking at the chance of like global recessions happening. Short end Q to the gap. Raph, what gap are you talking about? Unless you're talking about like an ICT gap, then I have no clue. All movement already happened during New York session. A lot of the movement, I mean, it happened during New York, but New York didn't go anywhere. Right? We opened here and closed here. So with all of this price action, New York moved 8 points. Told me before he took a really bad loss, 800 on Monday on a funded account with a trailing drawdown of 1250. I've been using one MNQ, 3 MES to build it back up at the money. I'm basically minus 400. Hugh, love to hear it. Should I continue trading that size until I'm up? Hugh, the main reason, I believe I talked about possibly sizing down to just slowly build it back up. And it's not necessarily just to build it back up, it's to build back your confidence. Because in that conversation, you could tell that loss like affected you. So you want to size down when that happens. Most people size up to try to make it back or to try to save the account. I like sizing lower so that way I can continue to build that overall conviction and then work my way back up. If you're comfortable with it, you can look to size up a little bit, but that's a you question. I can't actively be in your head knowing what you're comfortable risking right now with the drawdown. Only you can do that. I can just give my opinion on it, and that would be that, you know? I could see a thesis where you use 2 MNQ, but it depends on your stop as well. I can see a thesis where you size up on MES. I can also see a thesis where you keep trading that size because you've already made half of it back. Biggest thing with that, though, is just don't try to do it as fast as possible. Just do it as it comes. Find a really good setup, take it, and let it rip. I want to short oil maybe for a scalp, but no volatility at all. I can see what you're looking at, especially if we get below like 79.60s. I can see the thesis you're looking at, especially if the indices do continue pushing. Please no oil at 120. I already paid too much to fill up today. Aren't gas prices back down? No, dude, oil 120 gas price would be the least of my worries. What up, Miguel? How you doing, brother? In this market, do you suggest buying 5 props at a time and taking more contracts, or one at a time using 2 to 5 micros? EOB, my strategy with prop firms, it differs a little from Jake. Obviously, I don't use it as extreme size because I don't try to pass as fast as humanly possible because I know I'm going to take losses in there. But the bigger difference for me with that is I like trading one account until I get a payout, prove I can trade, I'm trading well, have that consistency, and then I'll use that payout to scale up with more accounts. That's what I like to do. Doesn't mean it's what you have to do, but that is my preference personally. Like the pump just made short scalp. Raph, I likely just, if we're talking scalps, I likely wouldn't do it. If I was looking to short ES, I would be needing a move to the open, possibly low of day, depending on entry. Yeah, Chuga, that's fair. That's fair. But I do know I don't know if the US has been filling up their reserves at all, but I know they were at lows. I mean, even saying the reserves were at lows since like the 1980s isn't that critical. Because at that point, we still have an insane amount of oil in general. Plus, we have oil coming from Venezuela nonstop. So it's mainly just going to depend on if they allow ships through the strait or not. But I know when the strait was halted by Iran, we were in a deficit of like 10 million a day. We have cleaner movement right now than that New York trash price action. Agreed. New York was great for scalping. If you wanted to scalp, New York session today was flawless for it. But it's also why I didn't trade today. I didn't like the volatility within the overall consolidations. So I didn't do anything in New York. I missed two setups that would have been TPs, gold, and NQ yesterday. Decided not to trade because kind of tired and was over trading hype oil for hours. Nothing wrong with taking days off, brother. Got to get better with just purely saying no to a trading day. Agreed. A lot of people do better realizing they don't have to trade every single day. But it also depends on like what your strategy is. If you trade the way I trade, yes, there's going to be days where you really don't want to be in the market. If you're a scalper, there's opportunity every day. Dev, luckily for you, and I know this is going to get some people to not want to be on stream. Chat, once again, degenerately gambled with Jake. They took that favorite in France and lost. So for me, I'm not doing the giveaway today. I'll resume my giveaways tomorrow. So today's going to be our one day where we can't do a giveaway. And then, like I said earlier, I'm willing to bet Alan doesn't check the Discord. Or he might check the Discord, but we didn't talk about it in stream chat to where, oh, no giveaways because chat's a bunch of degenerates in Jake's stream. So he might still do them. If I was a betting man, unlike chat, I would probably say Alan's going to do 2 giveaways. Or at least 1. The New York chat should never gamble. They always lose. Dev, to be fair, if I asked my chat about that game, I would be willing to bet they would pick France. Because I asked the chat a couple days ago who was going to win the World Cup, and a majority said France. So I think no matter what chat bet on that, they would have lost. I would have as well. Fair. What up, Seven? I see a lot of people trying to game the prop system. I want to eventually trade lives. That approach doesn't work well. Hugh, it can work well. It just depends on how you do it. If you're trying to game the prop system and you're just continuously blowing accounts, and then eventually you get lucky with one and build a massive buffer, then they might take you live at that point, but it's going to take a lot longer and be a lot more expensive. What like Jake does when he goes live, usually he builds a big buffer on it. It doesn't matter if he loses some accounts in general. And then when you have that big buffer, you trade more consistently then they look to take you live. A lot of streamers have like 300 plus accounts. Yeah. A lot of people go through a lot more accounts than they're open about. I know that for a fact. Because you're not going to get you guys see it from the people on our stream. Jake took multiple six figures last year. Zach has multiple six figures this year. He's obviously not on our stream, but Jake did a interview with him. Alan had multiple six figures last year. All of them spent six figures on prop firms. So you can just imagine the number of accounts you have to go through to do that. That's gaming the system. But that's how a lot of people get those larger payouts throughout the entire year. Relay went up, was at 279 last week, then this week filled up. Gael, isn't it great that you can watch oil and know exactly when you should fill up your gas tank? The 2-minute buy in NQ almost got you to buy. Well, it depends on your target. If you like entries here, sure, run it. For me, I don't love it because we've already made that move. We're now fighting New York highs. Am I saying we're going to reject? No. What I want, like I said earlier, is this 5-minute candle to be strong. The next candle, I do not want to spike above this hourly high. I want to open and immediately start to get a little bit of selling for a broader pullback. Start to trade the aspect of maybe an hourly inside bar, get a dip buy on it, and then look for the continuation overnight. That would be dream world setup here. And I'm willing to wait to see if that happens. But if we do get, let's say, an Asia session spike higher, if we rip up to like 608, 610s, and then fail back lower, that's a larger upper wick on the hourly. That's not something I want to buy into. So it's just going to depend on conviction on the hourly chart for me with this session. Screwed myself royally, had 3,100 trade on what I thought was Apex legacy account. And I was wrong on which one. Copy trades with my new Lucid Flex account. Damn, Aaron. So you thought you had a 1 day to pass and now you have to make $6,000 to pass it. That sucks ass. But there's like, I don't hate the idea in that situation because Apex accounts are cheap, obviously, of looking at the opportunity of getting a second account, only trading that Apex account and another Apex account together. Because no matter what, you have to make the $3,000. And then as you make that money to get the consistency, you'd be able to now have two accounts. Because you have to make $3,000 anyway. At least that's just how my brain immediately looks at it. Bro's 300 IQ. I mean, that's just how my brain loves numbers, statistics, and math. Buys for today, it's been up, but I wanted to be able to buy lower than when we were like right here, unfortunately. Because we opened stream right here. By the time I was actually looking at charts, was like here-ish. And I wanted an opportunity to buy lower, and we didn't get it. Jacob, trading a personal account is going to be less stressful. And I've told people to stay away from prop firms before. I have no problem saying that because some people likely shouldn't. Like if you're trading on an account and you're risking $50 on a trade or maybe even $100 and you have the finances to be able to set up a real account, I always suggest doing that. Because let's say you go for a 2-hour trade. You're talking making $100 to $200 a day. That's minimum 15 days just to pass it. That's minimum 15 days just to even get a potential payout. So by 30 days, if you make that on a personal account, you have $6,000 in your pocket. So to me, it just depends on risk. Yeah, no, in the end, I think personal accounts are the greatest to have. And I think if you're in prop firms, it's either great for learning with low risk or you work towards building those larger payouts to build the overall thesis on it and just work towards being able to fund a live account if you want to. You can write them off if you're smart about trading in taxes. Brandon, you can write off evals. You can write off a lot of stuff for trading. Well, if you have a business that you're doing taxes under. Last spike I got out, Apex payout. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Hell yeah, Sergey. Dude, even if I'm not in a trade, I love seeing you guys do well. I love it. So we have a bit of a wick. That 15 is going to close kind of shitty so far, but we have 30 seconds left. Hourly's still strong. What I really don't want to see is like this build out. Because at that point, that's just going to suck. I'm always suspicious of rallies or sell-offs with no news like this one we just had. Rob, more so it'd probably be the overall, if you're a volume trader, watching the volume behind it. See if there's actually buying or selling there. I'm just interested in seeing what Asia Open does. Also, what's the dollar doing? I need to mark that open. Dollar open was... I'm not going to count that as an open. That's an ass open. I'm counting this. That's my dollar open. I'll just wait for 30,050 NQ if we get there tonight. I'm short for an easy 100 plus points off that. I mean, that's a decent rally up there. I don't know. I don't know if I have the conviction yet to get there, unless we're talking late hours. Do you think we take highs at 922 from today? Depends on this chart right here. Depends on the 15. What does the overall 15 want to do? If we do this and slam back lower, likelihood for me during the early overnight session would be no. But obviously we have a lot of room towards like Allen session and the rest of the overnight. We get volatility throughout that. But just how do we react here? How do we react between, can we hold 600s? If we can continue to hold 600s and not even get back near these highs, then yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be targeting, longs are 100% going to be targeting the CPI highs on NQ and ES. That's not shocking at all. Voice are coming, chat. I'm about to start hearing voices. TCM, joke's on you. I hear voices all the time. It just depends which ones I want to listen to. My brain's always running. That's one of the reasons why sometimes at night I'll play video games, just because that's like one time where my brain just shuts up. Which brokers are best for personal accounts with not that high deposit limit? So depending where you are, look into Tradeovate. So Ninja Trader. Ninja Trader owns Tradeovate, the company behind all the prop firms, right? I would look into Ninja Trader. They have very low margins. And that's obviously, when I have a personal account, I use Tradeovate. The US, then yeah, Tradeovate's fine. I've actively traded with like $150 in a Tradeovate account before. They don't care, and they have, like, MES is $50 margins. I think MNQ is $100 per contract, so margins are low. You just can't swing during the overnight, or else you're required full margin. The voices forced me to lock my accounts till AM. I'm glad they won. Hell yeah, Andrew. Yeah, Tradeovate is very, very low margins. And if you think about it too, well, no, that wouldn't make sense for NQ. I was going to say the $200 or $2,000 drawdown on prop accounts makes sense with ES margins, but it doesn't make sense with NQ margins. So I'd be wrong there. But yeah, like if you have $1,000, you can theoretically trade ES, but I wouldn't recommend it. Mario, I can't get behind Forex just because of how much of it's unregulated. If you're trading in like a regulated Forex broker, then yeah, I'd be open to like maybe that could be a good opportunity. But for me, I can't get behind everything that's unregulated with it. What about MGC? I think MGC is $100 margin. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't trade MGC on personal accounts. Because primarily back then it was just the indices for me. So I know a lot of their margins. But MGC, I believe, is $100. Just know when volatility increases exponentially, so do the margin requirements. So when we start getting the 4% volatile days, like when the tariffs happened, margin requirements shot up exponentially, so you just have to trade less contracts. When's the last time you blew a funded? Not that long ago, Zach. Not that long ago at all. Typically for me, it doesn't often come from tilt. It comes from, let's say I only trade one account during a certain time slot, and I just take losses on that account mainly. See you later, Deb. Jose, I mean, right here, I'm not dip buying 600. And I mean, I could see a thesis. We talked about it earlier. If you want to short, I could see the risk opportunity on it. But that to me is shorting this hourly candle with an inside bar on the next candle. If this spiked higher, I would have been open to shorts. Broader thesis just off the individual candle we have so far on this stream. Big failure to go lower. Big breakout. New hourly highs. Inside bar. That's not dream world short. If you're scalping, scalp. You got to remember the way I trade. Slow open, agreed. Hey, Ron, blew my Top Step account this week. Currently unemployed and actively looking for jobs. Life is going great. Well, I'm glad you can be sarcastic about it. It's a positive. I mean, it sucks ass wholeheartedly. I hope shit gets better. But no, one thing I would say about that is just focus on life first, brother. Fully focus on life. And one thing to say is if you feel like you're at your lows or whatever it may be, once you get through that, you've made it through. The worst is behind you and it's all uphill. So, I mean, life's going to test you. It is. But it's how you react to those tests that kind of define you. And if you're in here actively watching streams, I doubt you have the mindset of just folding and just be like, like this sucks, But you'll probably get through it, brother. It'll just take time. Obviously, you have to get everything financially in check first, and then I would look to jump back into trading once that's all sorted. Well, you can trade micros with $1,000. You can, Hugh. That's why I love personal accounts. What up, Ali? How you doing? Just caught 60 ticks on 2 micros. Hell yeah, brother. Wait, Logan, you're 400 drawdown. Did you lose before that? Ryan, the way I trade, even with oil, is I don't care about news. Yes, it's going to impact it, but most of the time it's going to follow the conviction of the chart. If the chart on like the mid time frames to high time frames looks good for your conviction, I don't care what's going on. I'll hold through it. Unless there's like CPI or some shit. Young, I'm always doing good. How you doing, brother? Agreed, Cole. I was going to full port CPI this morning and it would have worked, but I'm going to be confident. Logan, if you came in and told me you full ported CPI and you blew your account after me saying it's the dumbest thing in the world yesterday, I would just put you in like a 24-hour timeout just for that. It's deserved at that point. WCPI. You know how many accounts probably got nuked in CPI? There's some that probably got passed if they got filled. Chad, be honest. How many of you guys traded CPI today? And I don't mean post CPI. I mean the news candle. How many did it? I know there's at least, and don't worry, I won't put you in a one-day timeout. That's just specialty for Logan. I forgot to. Probably not Probably not the comms I wanted to hear, but I'm glad you forgot to. Jojo, you did. How'd you do? Gambling behavior? It is. It is. Wholeheartedly. I didn't even look at it. When news like that happens, I don't look at the chart until after news. I took the long on NQ for 1200. Glad you did well, brother. Now, did you trade it one directional or did you do the like TikTok, Instagram famous strategy where they put like straddles on both sides? Messed up my consistency though. See, even if you win on news, you can't fucking win. Hang on. Did you fix your consistency? Or did you just take the L on the consistency and save the profits? Because you can roll contracts throughout the day to lose to get your consistency fixed if you want to, depending on if it's a funded or not. If it's an eval, I do that. If it's a funded, I don't. I have had an issue trading against higher time frame and getting cooked. When you have a market like this, should I only look for longs or do you see short opportunities? Raul, and I mean this wholeheartedly, look at the current structure and chart that we have on the daily. There is longs and short opportunities every single day. What does well in this market is patience. Whether you want a short or you want a long. Sometimes, just know, with patience, it'll bite you in the ass. I wanted a little bit of a dip buy for longs. My thesis this session was upside, at least for the early night session. Happened, didn't get the dip buy I wanted. So I'm sitting cash. If you want a short, find an area that you like the potential short off of or around, look to short. There's opportunities every other day for shorts, every day for shorts, depending on what you're looking for. It's just more so patience on waiting for that setup. Because there's a lot of opportunity for trades in this market. There's also a lot of opportunity to get absolutely smoked in this market. You have to do the stop both sides. No, Logan, because that is just straight gambling. If you at least have structural thesis and take a trade one direction, I might not agree with it, but if it works, congrats. But if you're doing the both sides, that's just fucking gambling. It's gambling anyway. Well, at least this is like educated gambling if you want to look at it as gambling. Last year was the worst year of my life. I'm not completely through everything, but guess what I got? Good attitude. I know I'm going to be okay, and I can still make a ton of money. Plus, agreed, Cole. Wholeheartedly agree, brother. I really hope we don't just get one little 5-minute wick lower, and that's that. Which we might. If we do, we may just go straight to 613s. But I was more so, y'all know, I was more so looking for this to long, and we didn't get down there. What was the news? Just hopped on. BL trades. I didn't see any news pop off to fuel this rally. So it's just buyers overtaking sellers. I've been having a breakthrough year in trading after taking a whole year away from it. Hell yeah, Cole. Man, that, especially after reading the last message, I love that for you. Taking the L, just going to get to the new profit target. Yeah, Jojo, it'll work. Is it a funded or an eval for you? I don't know if you said that already. No, you didn't. Longed 29 or 29500. Wait. BL trades. You're missing a number somewhere in there. Unless you're long from way the fuck down here, then I don't have targets for you. 850. Nice long. I mean, broader target, if we get continuation, is today's highs. Look for the data high spike. So 920s, see how we react to that. If we end up getting continuation, look for higher. We have last week's highs up at basically 30,100 on an NQ. You took that on a 25K? Oh, you definitely nuked that consistency. You passed it in one trade. I'm from Vegas, so we love gambling. You know what? I can't argue that one. To each their own. I can't argue that one. I like gambling outside of the market. In the market, I hate it. Because if I gamble and lose in the market, like if it's an actual pure gamble, I get so irritated at myself. I close my eyes and let the mouse do the talking. Ali, crazy part is that strategy would work more. If you flipped a coin and took a trade, they'd be more profitable than some people, which is nuts because it takes all the emotion out of it. You're just playing probabilities at that point. Instead of playing slots, we're a blackjack. Damn right. Heard that CPI was the lowest inflation in 6 years. I can't answer that one. I didn't read the report. BL, we were talking about the pre-market news. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that like Trump's yapping about, but none of it, in theory, would be bullish on the market. Hell yeah, most fab. Juice, take a step back. Just give yourself one setup that you want to see, and then only trade that setup in this kind of market. If this goes to 30,600 with my 20 micros from yesterday, I'm bagging heavy, probably take a week to get there. I mean, AXP, that kind of move on NQ, especially with 2 contracts on runners. Yeah, you're bagging very fucking heavy. 1-1R is actually so good. With a high win probability, yeah, it is. At that point, you're playing the statistics of your win percentage and the potential of the setup actually playing out over and over. Logan, he means he's going to make a metric shitload of money. Because from what AXP said yesterday, his trade would be this. Where he got in at, what was it last night? What was last night's lows? 370? Yeah. I think 370. So 370, wherever the stop is, and then he's looking for this. So only 1,200 and some odd points. Light work. Get out, bro. You're a trillionaire. Yeah, Ali, that would save a lot of people in this market. If you have like 1 or 2 setups that you only trade and just let it rip. Like for me, the reason I'm not blindly stabbing into this is because I had setups I was looking for today. From the beginning of stream, I had 2 options. We either break above 95, retest this area, look for a buy. Or we get more of a pullback, anywhere from 83s to like 75s, and then you look for that buy. Neither of these 2 have worked out. This one, I mean, you could argue this. But to me, I want to see the retest of this breakout area down here. So if one of those sets up, cool. If not, I might be cash. And then that one guy from yesterday, I'll hop on and be like, dude, it's been 6 sessions now. You haven't traded. I had my risk setting set to 600 profit, so I don't even know why it went all the way to 1200 then close. Well, Jojo, when you're playing news candles and high volatility candles like this makes this move in seconds, right? The NQ will fill what contracts it needs at the prices it needs to along the way to make the rally. If you have an order set at 740s, it can fill you with this kind of volatility at like 760s or higher. So you're going to get slippage playing news candles like that. That is just how that is going to happen. You'll get slippage with random news candles intraday that aren't big, heavy data candles. Shit, during Asia session alone, if you just take a market order fill, you'll get slippage. You know how many times trading this session I've like passed an account or gotten to a payout and been $50 short because it just filled me different? There's 928 if anyone's in NQ. NQ is pushing. What's moving throughout the overnight? MU. Is semiconductors ripping again? AMD 1%. Not insane. I mean, it's just the whole broad market. Yeah, MU's the main one that's up right now. Why do I have Nokia on my watch list? Close my long, 850 to 907. Nice. Hell yeah, BL trades. If I'm going to look for a trade right now, I'm going to long on NQs. It did everything perfectly. But why don't you take a look on NQ? Most fab, it's right here, brother. I mean, NQ's on the stream. If I love a setup on NQ, I have no problem taking it. But the number one asset I trade is the S&P. It's the most liquid asset in the market. It's the one asset that I have traded every, like most days, probably 85% of the days I've traded, maybe 90 in the last 4 years. So for me, if there's a setup between these two and they look identical, I'm going to take ES. Would I make more money off NQ? Yeah. But ES is the one that I trade. I've talked about NQ multiple times today. If Chad wants me to analyze NQ and they ask about it, I jump into it and do it. Oh, BL, because you got out here and then we got that little rip. I mean, now it's just how does NQ react to this high? What's crazy is RTY is at the open. It hasn't even moved. What's the dollar doing? Dollar hasn't moved yet either. Oil moving. Oil's not moving. Oil's actually going higher right now. Gold hasn't even broken the open. So the only thing moving right now is ES and NQ. There's not a single other futures asset that I watch that is currently making any progress in any direction. Interesting. I have to trade ES more often. That one night I took ES, it was such a breeze with my account. It wasn't bipolar at all. Yeah, AXP, you went from dabbling in ES to trading gold within like a week. So you went from no volatility whatsoever to the most volatile asset in the entire thing. The only problem is you would, with the sizing you're using, if you're using 4.5 minis on NQ, you'd have to size up on ES pretty decent. You said the exact same thing. Fair. That's such a short, quick move. You talking about in the indices? No, Logan, he'd probably have to use more than 9. If he wanted the same P&L, he'd probably have to use more. I trade ES and MES? Yeah. Agreed, Bugs. I mean, I don't blame people for asking about NQ, especially like why I don't trade it. It's the number one asset most people trade. But if I love trading ES, I do well trading ES. For me personally, I'm going to trade ES. What has probably blown the most accounts for me? NQ. Do you trade gold futures? Rarely. I do, but rarely. I have to have like A+ high conviction on gold to be interested in trading that. Do you think NQ's going to move more now with the 24-hour options? You mean in the individual stock options? I wouldn't say it's going to move more. You might get a little more volatility. But here's the thing that I look at. With that many other options bringing into the overnight market, like those other opportunities of assets to trade, you would need a large influx of traders to be actually executing on them, or you're likely going to get volume taken away from NQ, which obviously if you trade the individual names, it will fuel NQ in general. See you tomorrow, XP. Got a stupid candle, stupid size. Now I have to get 6.5K today. Next few days to pass flex eval. I tried losing some profit before end of day. Actually made another 2K. Chiz, did you just take a trade that you thought wouldn't work? You ended up making 2,000 more? Also, it's a flex account. So that's with Lucid, right? Yeah, so it has been moving crazier. But if that's a flex account, a little pro tip for you, you can load up micros because they don't have the 50% trade rule under 10 seconds like Tradeify does. You can load up a few micros, like let's say, even if it's just 10, enter, exit, enter, exit. You'll trade commissions, get a little bit of slippage, and you'll lose money. Over time, you'll lose money. You can obviously use more micros as well, depending on what you need to use. I usually just use 10 because I'm never like $500 to $1,000 over a buffer. Asia wanted to rib me in oil to the downside all the way yesterday till late. Now they're going to rib me up. MD, you were looking for oil to the downside yesterday? No, you were long oil. Or are you talking about you got in after your long hit? Dollar's currently flushing a little bit, so it's playing a bit of catch up. Gold starting to push a little. Oil kind of stagnant. And KD not much. RTY and YM are still fighting the opens. Well, now we for sure have spiked above the prior hourly high. Not much on ES to where it makes a huge difference. It all depends on how this candle closes. But it's NQ that I'm going to be watching on the hourly now to see if we do end up slamming off the data levels or if we can structurally hold this area and look for that break towards last week's highs. You in the UK, I'm in the US. Why I'm fighting the open? Not necessarily. I mean, it's 40 points above the open. So what do you consider fighting the open on the YM? So, I mean, 40 points isn't much. It's like, what, 0.1? No, 0.8%? 0.08%. Sorry. But RTY is actually at the open. And still gapping on the 5-minute, even though Asia opened. what in the name of heaven are you still doing trading? What you mean, Chris? It's 8:30 p.m. I stream every day this time, brother. You were on stream yesterday. I stream from 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern every day. You were here this morning. I was not. If you're talking like morning for me, I was not. 24 hours ago, I was here. But we have 5 streamers on this channel. I stream between 2 to 4 hours, depending on how long I want to stream in the market. Appreciate it, brother. I mean, I love trading this time session, at least streaming it. See ya, Ali. Have a good one, brother. Yeah, MD. I mean, nothing's changed in oil throughout most of this sell-off. The only thing was the peace talks. So the exact same conflicts are going on right now that were going on when oil was at $104 to $110. I always thought the oil pullback was more aggressive than it should have been, especially because there was nothing signed in paper. But that's also Trump wants oil as low as it can possibly get. You're my favorite one, Rag. It means a lot every time you say that. It does. Zay, on stocks I do, not on futures. Did you take anything today? I haven't taken anything since last night's stream. Well, that's a lie. I took this at like midnight my time. This a little long on my other account. So that one account still closed red yesterday. But no, I had 2 trade plans. I either wanted more of a pullback here to long, or I wanted to see this break higher, pull back to 95s, retest this here, and then you look for that long. Neither of those have really played out yet, so I'm just sitting cash. When the overall market's in more so like a daily consolidation, I'm fine just building plans and only trading those outcomes. Yeah, it'll mean less trades, but it is what it is for me. Also, I'm just remembering, someone mentioned a ticker earlier. I want to say it was Oracle, because I remember reading it thinking, I'll look at that next, and then I think I just blanked on it. Is that person still here? Because if so, I'll look at Oracle. Zay, you're always looking at hymns. Zay's always looking at the most random names. Looking for anything specific on NQ right now? J-Ro, the only thing I care about on NQ is how we react right where we are. This is everything I'm looking at. This data high, we have now spiked above it, which 2 things. Thus far, we have spiked above today's highs. We're seeing if we get buying pressure above the data highs. If we don't, it does increase the probability of a pullback, primarily because of this. If we reject this and this hourly pulls back in the next 26 minutes, if we close around like 900s, that's not bad. But if we break 900s, it's going to be a more bearish considered hourly candle with a bigger rejection. The only thing is what you don't want to see is us consolidate here on ES and not get that break to the upside. Because if we then start pushing back lower, that's not great, because that shows bulls aren't even strong enough to keep us above 600 once we got above. Do you think Funded Futures Family is a good firm? I think they're a fine firm to trade. I know people that do well with them. Not my favorite, but I'm not going to say anything like bad, because it's just personal opinion. But I know they pay people out. They've had problems in the past, but they've obviously changed a lot. And it wasn't, when I say problems, it wasn't like payout problems. So if you don't know what happened between them, don't think about it too much. Helped my grandma buy a stock today for her first time. Hell yeah. So far, we're rejecting decently here. I really don't want to, like, I can see, well, the reason I'm just staring at charts is I can see like a risk to reward opportunity for a short, but it's not a setup that I love. Let's say you're taking the rejection off this. I'm not taking this, but you throw a stop there, target the open, 2.6R. It would be higher risk. I'm not waiting all this time just to throw on a high risk trade. I want to be trading with the trend at the moment, so I'm waiting no matter what. Might be a no trade session, but that just means I have open opportunity for the rest of the session to find something. What up, Azer? How you doing, brother? What's that YDH level stand for? Base God Lotus. That is yesterday's high. Have you ever seen this trader Vito Commercy? He legit just trades the first 5-10 minutes of market open. He's hella good at it, but it's way too discretionary and intuition for like 99% of people to use. Hugo, that's how a lot of trading strategies are. Because like you can learn Jake's entire trading system, but if you ever think you're going to trade like Jake, you're likely not. Because a lot of it comes off of intuition. Jake in the morning, when he wants to buy at a certain area that may not be an exact level, but speaks to him that, hey, this can hold, then it's going to be more so discretionary. Most trading strategies, unless they can show you a detailed analytical statistical aspect of exactly when you can get in, and it's to the point where it could, at that point, it could be automated. If it can't be fully automated, it's discretionary. But if you can automate something, you're sitting on a gold mine. What happened to IBM Zate? All I saw was in Jake's chat, IBM had earnings. I'm going to guess they got absolutely smoked. Because I saw they were down, what, 50% today? That overall short thesis is playing out for the higher risk potential trade. Yeah, IBM got obliterated. Was it 2.7% and 3% isn't going to be enough to tank it. So it had to be something with guidance. So there had to be something there that pushed that lower. Market's really starting to piss me off. Every day, chopped out, nothing trending. Agreed. Even right here. I mean, the overall NQ target hit. There's probably a lot of people on ES looking for that 613s. Now, with this 15, yes. Was I looking for a dip buy to this? I'm not overly interested in this dip buy. Why? Look at the NQ hourly at the moment. If this spike higher holds and pushes lower and let's say closes at 840s, that is an ugly ass candle that I do not want to be a part of. I don't hate it if you want to dip by 95s. I don't hate a risk on the trade. But what I would have rather seen is going to be, if we got this, would be maybe something like this, where you slowly make your way down and then you have conviction to hold. And a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, it fits exactly what you wanted. It does. But there's more so larger rejection. I like the ES hourly. I don't hate this. I really don't. I hate the NQ hourly with the failure so far. And that's why I'm just being patient. My guy is media trained? No, I mean, NY, if it was like if it was my channel I was streaming on, and my overall rapport with companies, I would say whatever I want. But I also stand for someone else's name here, so I'm just not going to say dumb shit that I don't need to say. Oracle's in the same boat as IBM. AI is taking the money away from it. Is Oracle dead as well? Oh my God, Oracle got obliterated. I haven't looked at this chart in a minute. So from 250, 50% sell. Well, they're not as bad as IBM. IBM made this move in one day. Oracle at least took a few months to do it. How did AI stocks play today? Thank you, not moving. By the minute notice, I suppose it's good. I don't know a whole lot of AI stocks. You'd have to list them off if you wanted me to dive into them. Intuition, you say. Zay, your intuition is to find something that could bullworm and just rip it. That is your entire intuition. What up, Edge over NQ? And your intuition works when it works. I'll give it to you. You catch some serious worms on them. You're trying to go mechanical in your setup? Good. I mean, if you have full mechanical aspect, then that'd be phenomenal. I'm waiting for PayPal, dude. So's my barber. I know he's probably not on here, but my barber has been waiting for PayPal for fucking years, dude. Years. He has been just sitting in that thing. He's not breaking CPI candle and being pretty far from it. Cycle rejection at 600. T-Bot, I like that thesis. I do. Even if I took this short, I would still be holding it for me. Let's say I ran a stop there. I would probably need the open. Not even need the open, at least. I mean, yeah, probably the open. I'd probably front run it at like 91s for me if I took this. I'm obviously not in this. I'm just drawing it. But yeah, I mean, thus far, I don't hate like NQ 2-minute lower high. Structurally, this looks like it at least wants to slowly trend lower. And if that does, you'll see exactly why I didn't just dip by 95s. But I think if we do get this overall weaker hourly close on NQ, it really opens up the opportunity for this daily absolute horrific range that we've been in to continue. And at that point, I start opening the potential for shorts. If you guys remember, if we set more of an hourly failure on the indices, that opens opportunity for shorts to me. That was the only outcome to do it, and we're currently doing it. I'm not positive that much for longs anymore. Agreed. That's why I'm not dip buying. This hourly candle is cooked. Yeah. Now, here's the thing with ES, though. I said I still like this hourly chart. It depends on the close. If we fade this entire candle, I will not be longing this whatsoever. Not even a little bit. If we get some support around this 94 to 95 area, close the hourly candle just below like 600, that doesn't look as bad. But anything below like 95s, this candle gets more so to the cooked aspect, especially with this 15-minute. So I would need a lot of buying pressure into the end of this hourly for me to really build conviction. Otherwise, we are just in an aggressive range. Yeah, Rob, if they're making that type of move, they definitely have moved to the downside. Especially if something like IBM selling off 50% by the open, yes. You have that faded. I think I already read that. Well, now y'all see why we didn't dip buy. At least so far, right? If we hit the open, then I would have been stopped on that dip buy if we did it. Some days I don't have a problem being a cash session. Is there moves happening today? Yes. But I think a bulk, if this keeps trading how it's trading, I think a bulk of the opportunity will come past the like 10 p.m. time. Unless it just gets overly aggressive at the 9 o'clock open. How do you feel about Ohio State going into the season ranked in the top 3? I mean, Aaron, to be honest, is there ever a time when we don't deserve top 3? I mean, come on. We're always a contender at least. Do I think we should be number 1 this year? No. We're kind of in a prove it year. I can't wait for NFL. Logan, me and you both. Me and you both. Oh, please. Aaron, who's your team? I need this answer. Who's your team? And if you say that shitty-ass blue team, then none of the opinions matter. That's why I don't listen to Guy L much. Dude, honestly, though, with NFL season, because I know Jake's talked about it. Like, imagine if we got, like, a FanDuel sponsor. You know how dope that'd be? Just build a parlay. Michigan should be ranked top 5. Michigan should be unranked, brother. Aaron, you like blue? USC? Okay, valid. USC's getting better. I'll give it to them. I'll sign up and use your promo code. Logan, I have one right now, brother. I have a personal promo code. We got you guys on Halloween. Good luck. I will say, though, Aaron, there is never a time where I will look at Ohio State playing a team they should beat and be like, there's no way they win. Because every year, we take one team that should get absolutely steamrolled and lose to it. Like clockwork. Every year. One team that we should straight up just demolish. And we lose. It's like the Browns, but the opposite. The Browns always have one game each year when it's someone they should lose to, and they win, like the Packers. Guy out. That's one of the times when an unranked team. By the way, the spread on that game, and I'm sure you remember it. The spread on that game was probably one of the dumbest things I've seen. Because we have never had a game, like most of our games are overly competitive. I've always been a Rams fan and started watching during COVID. I'm a Browns fan, brother. The nice part is we may not play good football, but it's decent football. Overall. It was like favored by 21. It was exactly, I think it was 21 and a half. And it's dumb I can remember that. Because I bet aggressively on that game. And I fucking lost, dude. But yeah, someone mentioned Andrew Rake Trades Fantasy League. I would love to be able to do that with even my stream or in the Discord. Would probably have to do it in the Discord just because overall, I mean, you can only have so many people in it. So I'd probably have to like try to figure out how to make multiple brackets within the Discord. Yeah, Kyle, see, you guys are delusional. That answer does it all. The shoe's fun, except my problem is I watched 2 games at the shoe. One of them was versus Michigan State like 4 years ago. By halftime, we were up 42 points, so we left. And we were already obliterated back then when I drank heavy. What up, Tiffany? How you doing? We need to break under 85 to keep dumping. Yes, agreed. If this sell-off continues, I have a lot of interest at that 75 area. 70 to 75. I have a lot of interest down here. If we break this, we get right back into the levels from yesterday. Right? 60 and then down towards 40s. The problem is we need a catalyst to get us out of this broader range. CPI couldn't do it. It got us out a little bit. We're still within the bigger daily range. We'll see if tomorrow morning PPI can give us some conviction, but I'm not too positive. Yeah, Tiffany, after I've hit a certain profit loss. So like yesterday on stream, I took 2 losses. I lost, what was it, chat, like 630 on that account. And then later on in the night, I was stalking the charts for that overall trade I wanted, which after taking 2 losses, I was a little bit of a bitch. I just took the hit up to here instead of holding towards 70s like we wanted all night. Ended up working, then the short ended up playing out. But I ended up taking this on a different account. So this account was up like 850 off this trade, plus the like 150 I made on the YM in the beginning of stream that I ended up closing out. And then the one account was down that 630. So yeah, I use it as like Alan does, bullets in the chamber. So if I take a certain amount of losses or a certain amount of profit, I'm done. I have no reason to continue trading that account. So far, we're holding. 15 still an inside bar, so I wouldn't have wanted to long that anyway. Structurally, I could see the thesis of someone wanting to long. I would want a 15 to set up at least a little bit. At this point, now we're looking at the hourly. I would have loved this 15 if it spiked lower, maybe tested the open after this bearish candle, and then pushed up. Main reasoning here, we're still in the first half of this candle, so y'all know it's not my most favorite. And this is more bearish 15 minute. If I longed, let's say here, because people are going to be like, oh, there's a potential they could long here. Yes, there's potential always. If I longed here and it pushed down here, I'd be irritated because I didn't wait for that test lower. If this pushes without me, I'm fine because I wasn't looking to take this exact setup. Was I looking to take a test of this area? Yes. But I still need conviction within the overall candles, not a 5-minute inside bar that breaks higher. Head and shoulders forming. What chart, Eldred? You talking NQ? I would assume you're talking something like this, right? All head and shoulders is a clear support and a lower high. On NQ, yep. I see what you're looking at, but you need to confirm that lower high first. Not gonna long 850 again. Hell yeah, BL. Yeah, I mean, this just might be a slow day for me. Made my money past 25K builder account on the move to CPI candle, then shorted once I funded it at CPI candle. Hell yeah, T-Bot. We also got another person to trade CPI. At least 3 people were honest. Head and shoulders looks like an iceberg on my chart. Logan, what's an iceberg? Are you talking about like the top drawing type of thing? I don't know what an iceberg is, except for like iceberg orders. Yeah, Jose, I know that's what literally just an iceberg. Oh. So you're talking like just the top of an overall iceberg. That's like the trading strategy. I don't know if people have heard of this, the Bart Simpson. And it's like what ES did. And it's something people actually use as like a strategy. Not as a strategy, but as a setup. So where you see the rally, the consolidation at the highs where we continue to fail, and then we push back lower. And I know people that actually like call that a setup. Yeah, Zay. Yep. Oh, you didn't trade CPI. You mean the breakout previous day high into CPI? Okay, bet. No, Logan. Girl that was drawing dumb charts on a whiteboard, then it happened the next day. We got 150 likes. Oh, no. Sue, the reason I don't have it on the screen is I'm not doing an account giveaway today because chat degenerately gambled with Jake again and lost. It's on the chat at this point. I didn't even do a poll for bullish or bearish today because if they lost that as well, I don't know if they could handle it. But they bet again with Jake on the World Cup. Took the favorite, France, lost. So now there's no giveaways tomorrow. I'm doing that on today's session, primarily because if you think about it, it's like a sneaky little one session without a giveaway. Because Alan likely has no clue. He wasn't on Jake's stream. I'm not going to tell him. I'm personally not going to snitch you guys out. If someone tells Alan there's no giveaways, fine. If no one tells Alan there's no giveaways, fine. You guys get giveaways. So it'll be like one session without them, one session where you might get them, New York session tomorrow you don't, and then bam, we're right back. So it's a whole strategy with the giveaways. Yeah, no, Logan, I don't remember that one because there's also a lot of people that draw overall setups. I remember the one during COVID where it was like a huge meme about the wedge. The Bart Simpson's why I love trading. You can do whatever the hell you want. Tiffany, 100%. 100%. You can make up any type of drawing or strategy you want. I mean, just on these two charts alone, you could do that Bart Simpson aspect. You could do, hang on, get this off. What's the one, where's it at? It is here. You could do the infamous cup and handle that people talk about, where you go like that, and people look to short that lower high. You could do the head and shoulders. There's so many trend line patterns that people use. Then it worked. Turtle soup. I mean, turtle soup is still crazy. Bro, the wedges during COVID was no joke. My man, Callan. Just back then, dude, it was wedge central. And they worked flawlessly. I like to put magnets on my chart and pretend it's working. I mean, if it works, Gael. If it works, it works. I'm going to short pray for me. On what, Eldred? What I'm probably looking at, I only traded wedge biotech. I used to trade wedges a lot. I did. But that's also part of the early education I got. If you're shorting this and a thesis that we're not going to get above it, cool. If you're shorting this and a thesis you don't think we're going to get above it, cool. I mean, we still have that 15-minute inside bar. Well, now it fully basically engulfed the prior candle. Was more of an inside bar. But I'm still sitting cash for now. That's a good concept too, Elder, when you said turtle soup, because it just made me thinking. Everything I just showed, though, shows that no matter what way most people are trading, it's something to do with overall structure. It's just different terminology for it. To be fair, most people will make a terminology for structure, say it's an all-new trade plan, and then sell it. And it works. People buy it. I took 3 years off trading and came back this year because of the CMP's wedge on the daily. You took off trading for 3 years and came back because you saw one wedge. Callan you'd be his best friend. You'd be his best fucking friend. You were waiting for the shroom boom for years. Just wait till they make it recreational. When they make it recreational, you're going to be a billionaire. Come to Colorado for that? Is it actually? Oh no, I believe some places made it recreational. Maybe not recreational, but maybe not illegal. Got $3 to 15. It's rec there? Damn. It's not too shabby. It's not rec. Well, it depends. Be creative. Is it gummies or is it the actual thing itself? There's a big difference there. Because that's like California claims they sell it, but it's all like pseudo gummies. All right, we have the 9 p.m. open here. Let's see what we do. Wait until they serve it in food. Elder, imagine accidentally eating a shroom brownie or something. Brother, you'd be cooked. Research purposes only. So it's like peptides. Got it. Came back and passed 50K Tradeify. Hell yeah, brother. Oregon is legal for therapy. I believe that. Any good strategies for daily payouts? DLP, what do you mean strategy? Because just general trading strategies are great for daily payouts. Phenomenal for it. Just depends on what you want to trade and how you want to trade it. With scalping, broader swings, whatever you kind of want to do with it. Yeah, be creative. I figured it was more so decriminalized. Ohio made weed legal and then they changed all of the laws around it to where it's basically not anymore. But chat, I don't think there's a whole lot I want to do here because now we're stuck within a broader 15-minute range. Obviously, we just got 2 wider 15-minute candles, which makes it even worse. If you want to continue to trade the range, I can see a thesis for that. If we get above like 605s, I like 615s. I like the data highs on ES. If we cannot hold above 600s, I lean lower for sure. Even though the hourly closed decent. But if we cannot get and hold above 600s, I lean lower, at least for the shorter term. Whether that be a retest of the open, whether that be a test of 75s or 70s. Yeah, at the moment, more neutral. I'm open to trading this either way. I just don't have strong conviction here. I feel like if you're trading the range, you can build conviction. If you're trading certain resistance areas, you can build it. If you're trading off certain supports, same thing, right? But I just don't see much I want to do. No, be creative, not good aspects. Like they made it legal and then like it got voted to be legal and then they changed all the regulations around it. So like if you smoke in public right now, it's illegal. Logan, did you send it to me somewhere? Appreciate you, Toasted. Put the link in chat. Logan, you can't send links on YouTube. You're not allowed. Only I can send links on YouTube. You can't send links. But if you want me to see it, DM me it somewhere. And then I'll check after. Might get that pull down in oil. We'll see. But for now, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a stream. I'm open to opportunities. I just need to give a little conviction. If you shorted up here, I see the thesis. We talked about it. I see the thesis of shorting yesterday's highs. I see the thesis of shorting this overall consolidation. I just want to get a little more conviction on, let's say, even the 15. And then I'm open to trading. At the moment, like I said, below 600s, I lean towards us likely breaking below the open and testing the session lows. Below that, you have 70s. 70 to 75 is a big support area. I'm not overly bearish. I'm not overly bullish. The rejections continuing to happen on NQ isn't great. Isn't great on ES. RTY and YM being relatively weaker, not great. Dollar, if it finds support around this 100.83s, not good, but it hasn't found support yet, so you're still fine. But I just need conviction to build for me to take anything, so I don't think there's anything for me to take here. So I'm going to call it a stream. 4-hour ES 3-bar setup. Be like a 4-bar-ish, but yeah, my problem is here, I would want that hourly to close. because this is what this hourly looks like. Unless you're anticipating this 55 minutes to rip through and hit yesterday's highs, then I like the opportunity. If that's your thesis, I like the long target to the highs, because that would fix the 4-hour candle here. If we cannot get back above 600, this 4-hour will look like shit. If we can, though, 613.75s all day would be the area I'm interested in. Hearing you say you're not overly interested kept me grounded this past week. Even off streams, really appreciate your time, brother. Appreciate you, Andrew. It means a lot hearing shit like that. Even if I don't take a trade, just hearing how much it impacts you guys, I love. And that's why I'm glad to be here, even if market and I don't get like the entry I want. But with that though, you guys have a great rest of your night. Alan's streaming 1 p.m. Eastern or 1 a.m. Eastern. We'll do giveaways back tomorrow. New York session, there's no giveaways though. It is what it is. But y'all have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Right, guy, no trades in oil yet for me. I've just been waiting on daily structure to build up. Yeah, AAY, you can shoot me a DM. I don't do in-person stuff, but I have no problem educating with like sessions. You can shoot me a DM on Instagram or Discord, either or works. But I'll talk to y'all later.